Before we move on, there are two basic rules regarding the safe use of a machete that you must pay attention to. The first one, there are two places only where the machete can be. It's either in your hands when you're working and chopping and you're hacking, whatever it is that you're doing, or stored safely in the sheath. Well, that's it. Period. End of story. Because what I see a lot of people doing is they think it's cool to, after using the machete, they just stick it in the ground and they leave it there. Or they place it in a tree like that and they keep it in a tree like that, and the chances of accidents are many. People can get hurt. If you leave it on the ground, you can kick it, especially depending on the angle you're looking at it, because you only see that straight line, which is the edge of the blade. So if you kick it, or if you fall over it, you can have a serious accident. Or if you place it in a tree like that, okay, you don't see it, or somebody else is walking by and you can stick in your eyes, it's really dangerous. So no other places for the machete to be. It's either in your hands when you're working or stored safely in the sheath. When you're using the machete chopping the material and for whatever reasons you gotta go somewhere else, move maybe nearby just to pick up another piece of wood or do something else, what you're gonna do is you're gonna store your machete in your sheath and keep it there, and then you go where you're going to do whatever you're doing, and then when you return, back to working with the machete, then you take it out of your sheath and you keep doing what you're doing. You don't move around with the machete in your hands, again, because either the landscape might be very slippery, which is the case here now, or you might even fall over that machete. And like I said before, it's serious shit. So you don't want that to happen. If you have to move around, again, place your machete safely in your sheath. Another important aspect to pay attention to when you're cutting and hacking your way through whatever dense jungle or forest you find yourself in is, for example, in this case here, I'm a right-hand man. So what I do is my left leg, I pull it backwards, okay? And I move my left hand backwards too, so I can make a clean cut like this. And there's nothing in its way other than the thing I'm trying to cut, and not myself, not my own thigh, not my own leg. So the risk of cutting myself and having an accident if I keep my left leg forward is really high. So again, the right thing to do is like this, right? Another thing, you're cutting in diagonal like this, in a 45-degree angle. This is important. So that's why you have to move your leg backwards so you don't chop your knees off. And as an example of how dangerous it can be to use a machete in the wrong way in the bush, I can tell you two stories. The first one is this guy who was moving down, to the river near here. He was in a line with his students, and it was very rainy, okay, very wet. Everything was slippery and wet. And he had his machete in his hand, and he was walking, with people in front of him and behind him down the line, and he was walking, swinging his machete like this. When I saw that, I froze, and I said, "Hey, stop everybody." I got his machete, took his machete and said, "No, you're not able to use a machete properly and safely. This is not the way you do it. Not, absolutely, this is not like some Indiana Jones movie. You're not gonna swing your machete or blade, whatever like that. It's not a movie, it's the real life. You do that, you can hurt people, you can hurt yourself. So end of story, right?" And I took his machete. The other guy was here too. He was climbing down the other side of this valley here, which is a steep hill. And he had his machete like this, okay? Like this. Without the sheath, right? The thing was pointing here under his armpit. And when I saw that, I said, "Hey, stop." And then again, I tore him a new asshole because you don't do that. If he falls over his machete, he's going to pierce an artery, and that's the end of story. Game over for him, right? And there are so many chances of accidents. So people, whenever you're using a machete, make sure you have a sheath so you don't make and you don't cause stupid accidents, please. Well, that's it for now, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on the other social media such as Instagram and Facebook. This was Juliano Toniolo, and I'll see you in the ponies.